I'm Kelly Coughlin. I am the Senior Career Manager within the Office of Career Services at the Costello College of Business. So, and I am here with Lynn. Lynn, could you introduce yourself and then we'll get to our team introductions here.
Hi, everybody. It's very nice to meet everyone today. So, my name is Lynn. I am a senior studying management information systems and marketing. I'm currently a project management intern for our office. So, I've been here for my third semester now. I'm about to graduate, so that's super exciting. And it's very great this is actually my first Ask the Professionals that I'm like sort of co-hosting. So, I'm very excited. And yeah, I am here to, learn as much as all the other students are. So it's a great opportunity for me as well. So it's very nice to meet everybody.
Very cool. So, Denise, I know we've chatted before too. So, if you want to go ahead, introduce yourself, a little bit about your company, and then go ahead and introduce the team, that'd be great.
Sure. Thank you so much, Lynn and Kelly. I am so excited to be here today. Hello to all the students. I am Denise Adams. I am the relationship manager at Northwest Federal Credit Union. I am the connector, as they call me, right? To connect our students, employees, community together, because we are one big community. Northwest has been around for over 70 plus years. We are locally located in Northern Virginia and Herndon, Virginia. That's where our headquarters are. And again, we're excited about being partners with George Mason. The opportunity comes at a great time, especially now that you guys are moving into the next phase of your life. Some graduates, some not. But we have some great people here today that's part of the Northwest Federal Credit Union team who was once in your shoes. So I was going to introduce each one of them, but you know what? I think it's best that you hear from them who they are and how long they've been at Northwest and why. And they'll get into more questions about more about themselves. So again, thank you so much for having us today on this Ask the Professionals. Thank you, Lynn and Kelly.
It's really, really awesome to be part of this panel and to meet all of you and speak with all of you. My name is Amanda Andrews. I am the assistant branch manager of our Ballston location. We're right off 66, kind of on the edge of Arlington, but it's a really, really cool place, similar to George Mason and Northwest. I love both places. So I've been with Northwest now just under 5 years. During that time, started as an MSR, or if you're familiar with tellers, that's kind of comparable. And I worked my way up. I feel as though my time here at Northwest has been nothing short of a blast, honestly. Not only am I learning every day in terms of my professional life and skills that I can apply every day, but I get to build relationships with some really amazing people and some really amazing members, some of which you all might be. I enjoy being here just because the relationships that we build with our teammates and our members really feel very personal to me. And Northwest is very supportive of those relationships. And so as long as they'll have me, I'll continue to try my best to do that here.
Awesome. So, I see Elise next. Do you want to go ahead?
I'm Elise. I actually just graduated from Mason back in December. I was a winter grad. I think our ceremony was a little bit shorter than any spring people. I work in mortgage servicing, so not the fun, I'm opening a loan for you, I'm your loan officer, anything like that. I instead work every part that you don't see. So more escrow, lien releases, all of the fun stuff. I like it a lot. I ended up at Northwest, just basic job hunting. Starting my junior year, panicked like, okay, this is that, this is this. I know how to talk to people. I worked more retail. And it was just, you know what? I'm going to apply to Northwest. My now husband actually has an account here. And that's why I was like, a financial institution, not necessarily where I thought I'd end up. And I honestly love my job. They are not paying me extra to say that. I can say that. And I've also had a lot of learning opportunities here because I didn't think I'd see myself working in mortgage. I will say that. So
I love that. Katie, go ahead.
Sure. So I am Katie Hall. I am a lead instructional designer and I am on the talent development team. So if you haven't heard of an instructional designer, I do learning and development related things. So you're launching a new program or a new course and you need to figure out how to design it for learners, how to deliver it, which kind of content to use. Should you have a video? Should you have a lecture? Should you have a PowerPoint or whatever? I do that from start to finish and then evaluate how the program is. My role, I'm in learning and development. I've been in the industry of learning and development for about 12 years. years. I started entry level in a call center at Navy Federal Credit Union, went to other financial institutions, tried a stint in government contracting. I'm a Northern Virginia native, so I've known this area for a certain number of decades, which I won't say out loud. Um, and the I did a stint in government contracting, but the credit union industry and the idea of helping people, people serving people that you've got a membership while I'm in the back office. So I don't work with members. I don't answer calls for members. I don't do any transactions. My membership are people like Elise and Amanda so that we can provide the training that they need in order to serve the members. So they are my members, kind of comes full circle. So that's a little bit about my role in learning and development. So I do a little bit of kind of everything with that. I work with different teams, I do project management, and then I get to do the fun stuff of creating learning content, not education, but on the corporate side, basically.
I love that. If each of you could go through and just tell everyone what was your major, and then I know some of you sort of went through your career path, but like, how did you get in at the company, knowing that we all went in at different stages of the world? That's a little different, but some are more recent grads and some are not. So I'm interested to hear from everybody as to like, it's not like I got a degree in marketing and thought banking, or credit unions, that'd be perfect. What was the major and why'd you even consider this field? And then like how exactly did you get your foot in the door?
Well, I did major in business administration. How I got my foot in the door, I did not think I would be working at a financial institution, that's for sure. That was not my forte, did not like math, but believe it or not, it's not really about math. Working at a financial institution. I've been in the industry for 34 years now. I actually was looking for a job during the summer, and I knew someone that worked at a bank. And so my mother-in-law worked at the bank, and she says, how about the bank? I was like, I don't know about it. So I did. I applied, got the job, started as a teller, and really saw something about myself about working with people. I am someone that loved to serve people. So a lot of times before I started in this industry, I thought that you had to know a lot about math. It sounds crazy. Money, math, counting, right? No, it's really about your people skills, right? These are transferable skills that I didn't know that we can use in this type of industry, especially being it for so long. So I worked my way up from a teller all the way up to, I was a branch manager, and then I actually just recently, 2 years ago, was promoted, and now I work in the corporate office as one of the relationship managers for our corporate partners, as George mentioned, is one. But one thing, if I can share with you guys, just thinking about what am I going to do, how I'm going to do it, just allow yourself, give yourself grace, breathe a little bit, but most importantly, explore. Yes, you went to school probably for marketing or probably for, physics or doctorate or something like that. I would definitely say open yourself up and your network. Try to introduce yourself to other people that it's like-minded, not saying like industry, like-minded, someone that likes to serve, grow, and you can learn from them. If I can also mention mentorship, get someone that will mentor you, even if it's not in the industry that you went to school in, because again, there's transferable skills that you can use in the careers that you would probably want to go into, and you'll begin to love it. Because I do love the industry that I've worked in for 34 years now. So I know that was a way about to answer that question, but yes, it was business administration. I am still doing that, but it's more about me serving others and helping others see the benefit of building relationships, because that's what I do primarily, is build relationships and build partnerships with each other, be it internally and externally. So that's just a little bit about me. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, I love it. But experience is the best teacher, right? And just being open to these different experiences and deciding, jumping in and thinking you're going to love something and maybe you don't, and maybe you don't think you're going to love it. Like when your mother-in-law or, whoever's offering you that job and you're thinking that's never been on my radar, but giving it a chance and deciding that it actually was a good fit. At least I see next on my screen here, so I'm going to call on you.
So this is actually kind of it's my favorite funny story to tell people. I used to be a business student. I was going to do MIS. That did not happen because I am very bad at calculus. I found that out the hard way. So I actually ended up getting an individualized study degree. A lot of people don't know about that program. If you know someone who is struggling with one specific class, I would recommend it. So I graduated with a BIS in analytics and business management, and then I minored in computational and data sciences. So I spent way too much time typing on a computer, either for management essays or for coding projects. I did not think I would be a mortgage. The way I ended up here is, for starters, my family has been members at Virginia Credit Union down in Richmond for as long as I can remember. They've been very good to my family. However, I am not moving down to Richmond. I came up here to GMU and I have not wanted to leave Northern Virginia. And so that's how credit unions kind of got on my radar. And had a very big familial influence. Growing up, my dad worked in mortgage, and I heard too much, especially with the housing crisis and all of that, just about how it works for people. And part of Northwest that I have loved is I work a lot one on one with people, not in person, but definitely over the phone. And with that, I'm able to help them. And I really like that. Housing, especially right now, is something that a lot of people see as unattainable. Being able to help someone stay in their house or help them understand different payments, releasing liens, it's been very helpful for my mindset.
I love that. Katie, I see you next on my screen, so I'm calling on you.
My route to graduating George Mason is probably not as traditional. So I'll share a little bit about it. I graduated with a bachelor's of arts in communication with a focus in organizational communication and a minor in psychology. Again, without giving age, I seem to be talking about that a lot. I got my bachelor's when I was 30. So I did not go the traditional route of going to a four-year university after graduating high school. It was more I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went to Northern Virginia Community College and then was working retail full time. Still didn't really know what I wanted to do. Retail had kind of lost its spark, and so I was looking then for entry level kind of office jobs. And that's where I landed at Navy Federal Credit Union. Since that was kind of entry level, I didn't really need, you just need kind of, customer service related experience. And that's when I first kind of got into understanding what credit unions are about. But through my time at Navy Federal in the call center, I learned one thing about myself, which is I don't like being a part of a huge organization. As you know, Navy Federal's the biggest, and they are a competitor, but not knocking it, biggest credit union in the entire world. They are worldwide. I wanted to see and feel an impact that I was making, and so I found Justice Federal Credit Union, which again another competitor, smaller, but these were many moons ago. And there I felt that my voice was heard and I could make an impact because I was exploring what I wanted to do. I knew I liked helping people. Similarly to Kelly, I had thought I would love a counseling or therapy route, but I did not want to go like in the need of doing a medical degree or having to go that route. And so it was while I was at Justice Federal Credit Union, I found that I really enjoyed sharing knowledge with people. And I would often be the one that got to train new hires. So when someone finished their orientation and came to learn how to do their own job, like on the job, I would get to train them. I really enjoyed doing that. Fast forward, and I had taken some credits at Nova and I said, I want to put a degree behind that to, accelerate my career. So I'm close to 30 at that point when that was happening. And so I went back to Nova, did everything I need to do to get my credit. And then I don't know if it's still the case, but NVCC, the community colleges, had a guaranteed acceptance program into George Mason. I still had to apply to the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, where the communication program is. I picked communication for multiple reasons. I didn't want to go the education route, knowing I'm focused on organizations. And while you think I do training, communication felt like it fit and was also of interest to me because I really wanted to explore how I can make an impact in an organization, just from people knowing how to do their job to how to further organizations. So that was the route that kind of fit with where I wanted to go. And so I worked full time and then went to George Mason part time. I had just 3 semesters left. So I quit my job and went to school full time to finish my degree at age 30 and then I graduated with summa cum laude. So I feel had I done it after I graduated high school, I still would have gotten a lot out of it and learned. It was more meaningful in my path, doing it later on in life. And I then considered doing my master's and enrolled in a master's program, but I ended up finding a position in learning and development. And that's been my story ever since. I've tried anything from doing facilitation. So I actually, for training people, being the one in front of the class, and found I really enjoy doing the creative part in the background. So that's my little non-traditional story.
I love that. Thinking you wanted to be the therapist and then discovering that that's not the route I want to go. And it certainly happens to us a lot. And just again, reiterating that we just want to be open to those possibilities and trying it. And there's no contract we're signing for the next 15 plus years of our life that says you have to do this or there's no escape. So don't be afraid. And that's where those internships can be really handy too. No, and so that's kind of what these Ask the Professionals are about, is sort of getting these little informational interviews to see, is it, I can read what this looks like on a job announcement, but of course what you're doing in reality could be very different. So Amanda, I don't want to leave you out of the conversation. Go ahead with your background too.
Thank you so much. So my journey is also kind of untraditional. I'm actually in the middle of my journey, if you will. So similar to Katie, I, right after high school, had gone to Nova. I mean, even during high school and after high school, had worked a lot of part-time retail jobs, kind of getting as much experience as possible. And everybody's situation is different. I ended up looking for something a bit more professional because I had to find a way to pay for school. And I actually landed on my previous institution, which was BB&T. I don't know if anybody's familiar with BB&T. They're now Truist. But I had applied to be a teller because I figured, I have cash handling experience, I have customer service experience. So how hard could being a teller be? I had gone in for the interview, was a little bit more on the traditional side. So they had set tellers and they had set bankers. I'd gone in for the interview and I get through the interview, and at the end, the manager had said, I don't want you to be a teller. I want you to be my banker. And I said, oh, okay. Not that I knew what that was at 18, 19 years old, but I said, okay, and originally my degree, funnily enough, was microbiology. I always wanted to do forensics. I don't know if you all are familiar with the show Criminal Minds, but I had always envisioned myself as Abby, working down in the lab, testing all the different things and just kind of being to myself. But in a lab is always where I've seen myself. Was always into STEM, science, all that stuff. And I had heard that Mason was the place to do it. And my dad, when I was really young, actually was taking nighttime courses at Mason and would take my sister and I along. The teachers were really cool back then. They're still really cool now. But, they would give us pieces of paper and pencils so we could draw on the back. And it was something that really made me feel like Mason was the place to be. And I actually wrote about that in my application letter to say, hey, this is why I want to come to this school, aside from your amazing programs. And I still stand by that story to this day. But anyways, ended up becoming a banker and learning a lot along the way. And then COVID hit. And I was finishing up my courses at Nova during that time, and through the Guaranteed Acceptance program, transferred over to Mason. And my classes were becoming more specialized and a little more difficult, and labs are a little difficult to do online. I feel like those are the kind of courses that you kind of need to do in person in order to really absorb it, at least for me. And so it just kind of all happened at the perfect time. Got poached and moved over and everything at the perfect time. And so I decided to put my degree on pause because I felt as though, school is an investment in yourself. It's an investment of time and money. And I decided, what, let me just see what I can do at Northwest. And through my time at Northwest, I realized that I have a true passion for helping people. I can tell you all the thrills that I have had at Northwest and all the excitement and adrenaline I've had is not because I opened an account for someone. It's the impact that had on someone, truly feeling like I was able to make a positive difference for them that made their life easier in the simplest way. And so also during that time, I also realized that I think forensics for me, the idea of going back to school has always been in the back of my head, but I like puzzles. I like to figure things out, which I think is why I get so excited when I know that I've figured something out for someone because it helps them. But I like the small bits that make a whole. I try to focus on those to see what I can build with it. And so I've decided to actually change my major, which is why I say I'm in the middle of my journey. Still want to do forensics, but I actually want to do forensic accounting. It's really just to continue to help people, and that may look different once I'm actually fully immersed in that realm of things. I have really found a niche I feel like I can thrive in, something that continues to interest me, and Northwest continues to be supportive of my professional growth. There's several opportunities for that, but also my educational growth as well. So yeah, that's my journey.
One of the questions are there opportunities for professional development in a way that did you see yourself, sort of like how do you define success in different roles? Are you seeing yourself kind of like move up into your own, professional development? Are you seeing yourself achieve new different things in your position? And we'll go in the same order as well. I really, really want to hear what you guys think about that.
Regarding professional development, when I started working here, I was given a set, okay, this is what you do. As I've grown within the department, I now handle a lot of more complicated things, wires, checks, and those are just very few to touch on the surface. But within the back end of mortgage, we have post closing. I don't know if any of you guys know what that is, but I've been working with one of our post closers already. And, my boss was like, you might want to move up to here. You kind of have a knack for it. And as I've just grown within the department, I found that, there are some things that I am interested in that aren't necessarily my job right now. And there's also been flexibility. I've been encouraged to sit with different people, like those who work with insurance, those who work with taxes and everything. Like, I didn't think I'd be able to do that. It's just when I apply for an entry level position, I see, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. But instead, I've been able to do way more. And that makes me very happy. I was worried starting like first, like big job outside of college that I'd be stuck in a bubble. And I'm very happy to say I have not been stuck in a bubble. Northwest, especially as a new hire, they advertise that they want you to move out of your first position and to grow, even move to a different department. And I have seen that that is very true. And for me, that's very encouraging.
Those are the best companies to work for, honestly. The
Yes,
ones that see your potential and give you the tools to grow from within.
it has
Yeah,
been
I
so
love
good.
that.
It's been amazing.
Great. I love it.
I will echo exactly what Elise was saying about the opportunities and the professional development here. I think our longest tenured employee is 35 years or something like that. So, and they've been in different positions. You have some of the people in what we call our C-suite or the executives that started as tellers. So here at Northwest and also to get, a little bit as my career progressed, like Elise was saying, like learning new things or doing things like that, that's where you'll find, even though you may come in and here's the job description that you will be dispersing cash or you will do this and then we close at 4:30, you can learn more about the passions and the things you like by and you'll learn them in internships and mentor programs and stuff like that by volunteering or offering to do more things. So one of the things, like for example, is like project work. So if a new system is being launched, I know sometimes there's people, the branch will be like, I'll test, and then you get to learn and experience kind of new things. And I've seen the path at Northwest where some people started in the branch and now they're a business analyst. They're in the back office making sure a system and a process works so that the systems are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it's seeing maybe something that's challenging or new as an opportunity to learn. In learning and development, we always say fail forward. So you're not actually like failing something if you do a mistake. It's learning from that mistake so that you can move forward correctly and the way you want to go. The organizations that allow you those opportunities are just like Kelly said, the ones to hold on to and not and not leave. At Northwest, so there's an industry for learning and development professionals called the Association for Talent Development. Within my first 12 months, they provided the support and encouragement and backing for me to get a certification in that field that I've been trying for 10 years to get endorsement for. So Northwest values that growth, just like Elise noted, just like our learning and development team, shout out to us, tries to do, and management, people in Amanda's role and everything else try to encourage. So when you find those organizations that let you learn and grow and have those opportunities, take them. They're there for your growth.
To piggyback off of what you're saying, and I think all of us here at Northwest can kind of agree, Northwest has done a really, really good job in terms of supporting internal development and also still outsourcing talent. We've recently put out things such as career tracks for people who are within the credit union, who've been within the credit union. If they don't necessarily want to stay within the role that they currently are, it is a resource that you can use to kind of figure out maybe, if a different department is better for you, or, a different job in itself is better for you. But to be honest, since my role is slightly different than both Elise and Katie, I'm in branches, right? So I deal with people all day, every day, members and my team. And I love it. It's very stimulating. I've had some really good opportunities for networking, meeting with people, and just talking to people. That's really what I enjoy. But to be quite honest, when I got into the banking industry, because I was studying science, I was not sure if banking was something I really wanted to dig my heels into and kind of cling on to. It was not a career that I had really seen for myself. But when I tell you I am so incredibly happy I did, as I started to really get comfortable with Northwest and really learn the way of banking and Northwest's mission and our culture, I realized how many opportunities for growth and development there were. And I truly do, as far as the branch life goes, we do have goals that we have to meet. And I learned that I do get a bit of adrenaline, a little bit of an adrenaline rush when I am able to meet certain goals, right? I love numbers. I love to go above and beyond, not just in my job, but for people, for other people. And now that I've grown into management, because I also wasn't sure if management was something I wanted to do. I didn't want to sell myself short, but I also was like, developing other people, that takes a certain skill that I wasn't sure if I had it or not. But then I thought back on the experiences I've had with my leadership along the way at Northwest, and I thought, well, they probably thought the same thing too, but they really, really encouraged me to learn and to utilize my resources and answered any questions that I had. And I wanted to be the same resource for my team. And so through going into leadership, now I also have learned that I really enjoy, similar to Katie, developing people, training people, helping them figure out what their passions are, where they feel as though they fit within the credit union, and kind of where they see their career going, and really just empowering them to take ownership over their own careers. It's really cool when you get to see the inspiration in someone's eyes and get ideas for where it is that they want to go. I also, to Katie's point, enjoy taking part in other things. So in the credit union, we're able to kind of assist other departments as well. And it may be that I get to go out of the branch and go to our headquarters and help with a document project or something, scanning documents and making sure that they're itemized properly, those kinds of things. But I took part in several things here. So we have an emerging professionals network that I was part of, which was fantastic. It was super, super fun. It really promotes, volunteerism and developing professionally, building your network within the credit union as well as outside of the credit union. I was also part of our DEI committee. So helping around the credit union voice people's opinions or desires and, celebrating people. And then I'm also currently part of our collegiate program. So I work with Denise right now to help manage the relationship and kind of bridge the gap between Northwest and George Mason, as well as the other institutions that we have partnerships with. I feel as though that has really helped me grow on several fronts. And I'm really, really grateful to have had the opportunity to do so and to continue to do so. So
I really, really love all your points. I feel like it's so important to be able to grow and learn in one workspace as well as, really fitting in with the culture, the mission. It's so important to like really get to know the company before you decide to work there. And it really keeps you there after a while. I mean, you really never want to work with people who have a very much different mission and culture besides you, which is why I stayed with our office now because I love everybody here. It's pretty much been my entire college life, so I really much appreciate it. Thank you, Kelly, for being a very good boss. But we have one last question for you guys today, and it is, what is one piece of advice do you have for students that you wish you knew when you were in college? For me, was that closed mouths never get fed, which is why I tend to love going to network, meeting new people at coffee shops, and just being able to put myself out there because you never really know. So let's start again with Elise and go down that same line, and I want to see what you guys have.
The biggest thing really that when I was graduating, when I was in college, is I was very dead set on like, I really like coding. I like more of the machine learning. I like the predictive coding, analytics, all of that. And I was like, you know what? I want to be an analyst. I don't think I'm an analyst right now. And I'm arguably happier that I didn't go that route because I'm doing something that I never thought I'd do and I enjoy it. I'd say just as a student, don't sell yourself short. Be open to learning new things. And if you're open to learning and you're willing to put yourself in potentially unfamiliar situations, you might do something that you never thought you'd like, you never thought you'd do, and realize that it is something for you.
My advice is kind of three parts. One, I had kind of mentioned on my path, like being uncertain of which path I wanted to go in, or like we've talked about with changing degrees and stuff, uncertainty, not being sure of that path that you want to go on, or if that path changes in 10 years is normal and 100% okay. The second thing, and kind of similar to Amanda when she was going into management and going, I don't know. I mean, that just seems like the, kind of the next step, but I'm not sure if I wanted to do it. I did the opposite. I did try management and said, that's not for me. I do not like managing people. Career growth doesn't have to be like climbing the ladder or linear. It could be lateral. It could be, and the kind of role that I am in now and where I think kind of my landing place is being the lead or the expert in the field, the go-to person. And so I still get that same satisfaction of the growth and development and opportunity. And I could make that position into kind of my own and go, okay, I tried managing people. That's not for me. Let me find the path or, that works for me. And in this organization, you can definitely do that. And the third thing is see challenges as opportunities because you may never know what may pique your interest, what will ignite some passion that you didn't know you had, and will give you that sense of accomplishment or kind of satisfaction that makes you want to wake up and do your job and go to work the next day and enjoy it.
I don't want to repeat everything that they've all said because I kind of agree with everything. But I think for me, I was one of the people in school that had my life planned to the T. Didn't go that way. And I thought that I, in a way, was a failure for that because I didn't follow the plan that I had set and I was comparing myself to everybody else. But in reality, we all have our own path. My story is going to look very different from everybody else's. What I really had to practice doing was celebrating my failures. Just because something didn't work out doesn't mean that it really was a failure. It just meant that I was redirecting myself to something that was truly meant for me. And that's kind of how I feel about my biology degree, right? I was not studying to work in a bank. I was just working in a bank to pay for school. But I landed here and I'm very happy that I did. I was very happy that I remained open to the opportunity and giving it a shot. Put forth your best foot forward with each opportunity that you take, because it could be the one that leads you to your happiest times, your happiest career, the happiest version of you. So I think that would be my piece of advice. You don't have to have it figured out, but lean into each opportunity, give it everything you have. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing if it sticks. So yeah, and have fun. Have fun in the journey.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to take all of your advices because I am still in my last few weeks of college. But that was all the questions that we had for you guys today.
Well, we are at the end of our time, but I want to thank all of our panelists. I know you're all super busy, so I really appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to kind of give students their 2 cents, what to expect. Don't feel like you have to focus on the exact path, right? And being open to those other opportunities because you never know where it's going to lead. But I just really want to thank everyone for their time.